This is devotional number 215, and today's date is March 24th, 2017. We're continuing our examination of Nehemiah 8:8, which states, "So they read in the book in the law of God distinctly, and gave the sense, and caused them to understand the reading." The third and final element in this verse that we want to look at is "and cause them to understand the reading." The term reading is Strong's number 4744, and it's actually derived from the word read or read in the phrase, "so they read in the book in the law." That word is 7121. Actually, Nehemiah 8:8 is the only place where this term is rendered as reading. Everywhere else, it is translated as convocation 19 times, assembly twice, and once as calling. For example, if we go to Isaiah 1:13, Isaiah under divine inspiration decries Israel's external worship of the one true and living God of the Bible, in which this word is translated as "of assemblies." "Bring no more vain oblations. Incense is an abomination unto me. The new moons and Sabbaths, the calling of assemblies, I cannot away with. It is iniquity, even the solemn meeting." The next two passages translate 4744, this word, the reading, as convocation. And actually both take place on the first day of the seventh month, just as here in Nehemiah 8:8. Leviticus 23:24 records, "Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the seventh month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, and holy convocation." Numbers 29:1 likewise states, "And in the seventh month, on the first day of the month, ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work. It is a day of blowing the trumpets unto you." Although I mentioned this in an earlier devotional, it bears repeating. Mr. Camping had highlighted the fact that the blowing of trumpets, or "of blowing of trumpets unto you," is not an accurate rendition, as this was not a musical instrument, but instead a ram's horn, which is the word shofar, Strong 7782, and it emitted a loud blast. It should have been translated as a memorial of the Jubilee. The term Jubilee is 3104, and it's more commonly identified by the Hebrew Yobel. But this is a different word. It's the word teruah, which is 8643, which is associated with the shofar. And the Jubilee has everything to do with the proclamation of freedom from spiritual captivity, which is the essence of the true gospel, as Leviticus 25:9 through 11 underscore, in which both of these terms, teruah 8643 and Yobel 3104, are included. "Then shalt thou cause the trumpet of the Jubilee," trumpet is shofar, Jubilee is teruah, "to sound on the 10th day of the seventh month. In the day of atonement shall ye make the trumpet," again shofar, "sound throughout all your land. And ye shall hallow the 50th year, and proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee." This is Yobel 3104 unto you. And ye shall return every man unto his possession, and ye shall return every man unto his family. A jubilee, again, Yobel, shall that 50th year be unto you. Ye shall not sow, neither reap that which groweth of itself in it, nor gather the grapes in it of thy vine undressed. Previously, I had also made the point that the term cause them to understand, which is Strong's number 995, in this last phrase in Nehemiah 8:8, and cause them to understand the reading, appears 4 other times in Nehemiah 8:1 through 9, denoting the extreme importance of this word. In light of this, I was reminded of Luke 24:27, 31 to 32, and 44 to 45, regarding when Christ met and ultimately revealed himself to the 2 men on the road to Emmaus, and later on with the other apostles, and gloriously proclaimed what we have been discovering in the significant details of Nehemiah 8:8. And beginning at Moses and all the prophets, he expounded unto them in all the scriptures the things concerning himself. And their eyes were opened, and they knew him, and he vanished out of their sight. And they said one to another, Did not our heart burn within us while he talked with us by the way, and while he opened to us the scriptures? And he said unto them, These are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled, which were written in the law of Moses, and in the prophets, and in the Psalms concerning me. Then opened he their understanding, that they might understand the scriptures. Now, let me just make a few comments before moving on. The word for opened is Strong's number 1272. And we find this in verse 31, and also in verse 32, and also in verse 45. The understanding in verse 45 is the mind. It can be translated as mind or understanding. It's the word 563. However, the word for that they might understand in verse 45 is a different word. It's Strong's number 4920. I also want to point out that in the first verse in Luke 24:27, and beginning at Moses and all the prophets, he expounded unto them in all the scriptures. This word expounded is an interesting word because it's Strong's number 1329. It's actually a compound word. The main word is 2059. Hermeneo, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It means to interpret, and it's from this word that we get our English word hermeneutic, which is the correct methodology or the methodology for interpreting the Bible. We know that the correct methodology is outlined in 1 Corinthians 2:13. Now, I should mention also that in closing, there's this wonderful declaration in Nehemiah 8:12. It really sums up the joy that God's people experienced, not only on that day, the first day of the 7th month in Nehemiah 8, but throughout history, and especially in our day, since the little book in Revelation 5 was unsealed, for the understanding that God has so graciously granted through his word. And all the people went their way to eat and to drink and to send portions and to make great mirth, because they had understood the words that were declared or made known unto them. Could it be that God would continue to do so according to the good pleasure of His will in this prolonged day of judgment?